Gurmagat Ceann Corla, and I thank the Minister for taking this very important issue today regarding the need for us to progress the Barrow Blueway. Minister, you'll be aware of my keen interest in progression of the Blueway through County Kildare. It's something I've raised with you and your officials on a number of occasions in the past. It's very clear what option we would like in Kildare, and I would very much agree with Kildare County Council that we would like to see option 2 developed, and you know that we would be in a position that the Kildare element that we have planning permission for, that is ready to go, that could be considered as part as the next round of the Greenway strategy funding for that element. I think the cost for the entire Barrow Blueway down to St Mullins and Carlow had been costed at around 11 million. Obviously, to do that's the 115 kilometres. To do just 50 kilometres in Kildare would be significantly less, but the economic return for our area would be really, really significant. In Athy, you know, we have a canoe loop already around with Vickerstown, so the ability for people to cycle, to walk, to trek, and then to canoe as well would be part of that. And you know, Athy is a very unique town, Minister, situated on the banks of both the Grand Canal and the River Barrow, between its famous Try Athy event, the Dragon Boat Racing, Canoe Club, and very ambitious plans for a new water sports hub. It has embraced water sports and tourism potential that can be offered to the town. And this investment, you know, would see a huge shot in the arm for Athy. In Monasterevin, it's known as the Venice of Ireland, and along with Ratangan, these are towns in rural parts of South Kildare where we don't have enough economic activity, and tourism is a key option there that would linking us directly with Dublin, the Dublin tourist market, and where visitors come in, really would be a very exciting opportunity for businesses and individuals to consider setting up cafes and all the different spin-off industry that comes from this. I know with my family on a recent holiday a couple of years ago, at this stage now, over in Mayo, cycling out from Achill along the Greenway there, all of the different businesses that had sprung up that hadn't existed before, and the same in Waterford. And I do say to you, Waterford with 250,000 visitors is just 46 kilometres. What we're looking for in Kildare is 50,000. So I very much would implore you to use your office that option 2 would be the preferred option from our point of view in Kildare. Down the line we might look at new planning applications to try and deliver the overall Barrow Blueway, but for now let's prove that Kildare can be the success that it can be and give us every opportunity to have that economic development that is so crucial for the south of our county.
Sure.
Thank you, Deputy Hayden, for raising this issue. I acknowledge your keen interest in the Barrow Blueway. Ireland has considered the detailed inspector's report and had a number of options available to it. The first was to seek a judicial review of the Bord Pleanála decision, and this option has not been pursued. The second was to develop the element already granted permission and seek funding to develop the towpath from Lowtown to Athy, as planning has been granted for this section, and funding could be sought under the next round of Greenway strategy funding. And whilst funders have shown significant interest in the potential of a full Barrow Trail, the potential success of an application for part of the route would have to be discussed. And Kildare County Council has indicated that it would be keen that this is progressed. The third option then was to submit a new planning application for the areas which have not been given consent, and this would of course require a redesign informed by further review and landscape assessments, and in order to do this it would be necessary to undertake a detailed hydrological model for the Barrow catchment. A detailed flood risk assessment would be a very large project in itself and would also be subject to challenge in terms of the certainty that is required in order to conclude on potential impacts. And this is not an option which Waterways Ireland feels would have a successful outcome at this time. The fourth option then is pause development and work with all of the local authorities, sports partnerships, communities and groups along the route of the Barrow to activate the area as much as possible in terms of recreation and tourism. And Waterways Ireland is currently organising an entire Barrow walk during the European Week of Sport in September. And by undertaking such programmes, it will be hoped to positively impact on mindsets in the area. The evaluation of the above options, Waterways Ireland is exploring the availability of third-party funding for the Lowtown to Athy County Kildare section, and it's anticipated that the evaluation of options will be completed in the coming months. And given the success of Blueway projects to date and recognising the capacity, resource, seasonality and mobilisation constraints, and that this is a matter in the first instance for Waterways Ireland, it is my view that the body should now proceed to plan, schedule and resource those elements of the project for which planning is secure. So, Deputy, that is in effect option 2 of the options that I laid out to you. My department will continue to engage with Waterways Ireland in that end. just to say to you that it is my desire that this goes ahead, as you have outlined yourself. However, Waterways Ireland will ultimately make that decision themselves. And I know that there's a Waterways Ireland Monitoring Committee meeting on the 9th of July. But as I said myself, it is my desire that we can go ahead with the parts of the project that have planning permission and go ahead with that, because I think some of the advantages that you've outlined in terms of tourism, in terms of cafes, in terms of it being an exciting opportunity overall for Kildare should be acknowledged. And you know, even if we can't do all of the Barrowway at the moment, we should certainly try and do those aspects and those parts that, as I said, have planning permission. There are many Blueway initiatives throughout the country. It's a multi-activity trail on or along the water, and it's defined by trailheads with readily available trail information and safe access points to the recreation activity. And as you said, Deputy, they're not only recreational trails, but they link the physical activity with places to rest. They have refreshments, visit heritage sites and places of interest. They can browse the local arts and crafts and experience the local culture. So overall, as I said, Deputy, I thank you for raising this. I know how important it is to Kildare, and your enthusiasm I acknowledge. And as I said, my desire is that option 2 would go ahead, and we await the decision of Waterways Ireland on the 9th of July.